Hey, earthly beings, beautiful souls, high divine, badass, goddess, phoenix guy here. So, I just wanted to take a moment to share with you why I'm so fucking passionate about helping my fellow women goddesses embrace and exude and embody their sensuality, their sexuality, ask for what they need, and accept and embrace their their dark side, shadow side. So, being someone who's been through abuse, several forms of abuse from a child, I had to build myself up in a lot of different ways. There were times in my life where I beat myself up and applied pressure to myself and went through bouts of depression and anxiety plus promiscuity in my early 20s because of being sexually molested as a child from 7 to 14 off and on, and I was traumatized. And so in turn I had no self-love, no self-worth, and I re-traumatized myself as much as possible because I thought I was to blame for the abuse that I went through. So I had to do a lot of self-love, a lot of healing, still going through the healing journey because it never ends. And for me, being able to, number one, accept and embrace what happened to me, that it was not my fault. Number two, accept and embrace my face and my body, especially my body. And number three, ask my body to forgive me for what I put it through. Number four, ask my vagina to forgive me for what I put her through. Like that type of healing, that type of acceptance and embracing all of who I am. Every stretch mark, every fat roll, every white head, black head, long hair, short hair, whatever. I had to learn to embrace all of that and embody it, become me, right? And so that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I'm, like I said, a person who embodies and exudes and embraces my sensuality, my sexuality, especially as a beautiful, proud lesbian woman who loves my girlfriend. So don't be in my inbox. Number two, I had to realize and embrace and accept and own that I am an innovative leader for women. Innovative leader for women with all the shit that I've been through. I've been through some abuse in my life, like I said. I had a near death experience. I had 3 miscarriages. I had a baby fall out of me at 5.5 months. We as women go through some shit, and we as women experience trauma. Not to discredit men going through trauma, but we go through some trauma. And because we're so conditioned to be the good girl growing up, or whatever the case may be, that was my story, and to people please. So I had to reprogram my mind and unlearn certain things in my life for me to be this high divine badass goddess that I am, that I claim to be, that I own, that I embody, that I exude, that I embrace, that I accept as my truth. And so for me, it's empowering my sisters. I don't give a fuck what culture you're from, what size you are. If you're a woman, you're a woman, and women go through things. And there's some women out here that are not exuding and embodying their sensuality and sexuality, and they're sexually repressed. They're sexually repressed. They're sensually repressed. They don't know how to ask for what they need and what they want. They don't know how to express themselves. They don't know how to use their voice because of fear, guilt, and shame and judgment. I experienced all of it. When I came out at 40 years old, the scrutiny and judgment I received was massive, massive for whatever reason. And I came out on Facebook. I had a whole photo shoot process done. I just didn't give a fuck. But that's just me, right? I had to tell myself and remind myself, remember who the fuck you are. Remember who the fuck you are. Remember who the fuck you are. And this is why I do the work that I do. When I sat with myself and I asked myself, what am I an expert at? What am I a master at? And that is being a resilient, get back up, sensual, sexual, dances to the beat of her own drum, badass goddess. That is who I am. That is all that I exude. That is what I represent. That is what I have mastered over the course of the years of my life. And there's so many women out there that are playing small. They don't want to say anything because they don't want to shake up the world. They don't want to say anything because they don't want to make other people uncomfortable. Fuck that. Fuck that. Because if you sat there and you allowed someone to tell you who you are, and you allowed someone to make you uncomfortable, and you pretty much was a victim of any form of abuse, which is not your fault. It's time for you to rise up, goddess. It's time for you to rise up, queen. It's time for you to rise up, empress. It's your time. No more shutting down. No more making yourself small. No more suppressing and fucking suffocating for someone else. I had to have conversations with people in my life that were very, very uncomfortable. And I had to tell myself, you've made yourself uncomfortable for so many fucking years for these people. So guess what? They're going to hear your words. They're going to feel your wrath. They're going to feel your anger and your rage. I was respectful with the conversation and the confrontation. However, I let them know I mean business. You hurt me this way. You did that. And I also had to hold myself accountable and responsible and take ownership for all the shit that I created in my life because I was abused, because I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the knowledge, I didn't go through the healing process. But when I did, it was time for me to rise up like a phoenix from the ashes and do my internal work. Dig deep inside of me and grab my inner strength, my inner healing, my inner badass goddess energy, my inner compassion, my inner power, in order for me to stand up and be the person who comes on TikTok and talks like this. And it took me a while to get here. It's not just something that happens overnight. It's something that gradually happens over time. When you learn to love yourself a little bit more every single day, when you learn to give yourself compassion every single day, when you learn true forgiveness of self, when you learn to let shit fucking go, stop holding on to resentment and grudges of who did this to you. Stop playing fucking victim. There is no victims here. There are only goddesses that are badass and high divine, who are unbreakable, unshakable, unstoppable, and can handle and overcome anything that has been thrown their way. Because if you look at your life 6 months ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, you've overcome some shit, queen. You've overcome some shit. So it's no longer playing small. It's allowing those dreams to become a reality, finding out what your purpose is. Because guess what? You are the purpose. You are the fucking magic. You are the fucking experience. You are the fucking gifts. So it's time for you to exude, embody, and embrace all of those qualities because you deserve it. It is your birthright as a high, divine, badass goddess that you are. So if this is speaking to you, if this speaks to your heart space, and it makes you uncomfortable, then it's time for you to do some work, right? So I offer high, divine, badass, inner goddess energy sessions. I gotta get my words together. Pretty much basically what I do is I help you to embody and activate your inner goddess. I help you to embody and activate the queen that you are. I help you embody and activate being unstoppable, unbreakable, unshakable, so nobody can fuck with you. Where you are so complete within yourself, you know exactly who you are. You're looking forward to doing your work constantly, tapping into yourself constantly, being so in tune with you that you are unfuckable with, where nobody can touch you, that you are so protective of yourself, like you know how to protect your aura, your energy, your heart space, your mind, where you can think for yourself, where you know that you know that you know who you are, that no one can tell you who you are. And it's also being able to expose yourself before anyone can expose you. Speak about your shit. Talk about all the shit that you did in your life that you are now proud of that you did, because you're honoring it. Because once you expose yourself, no one can blackmail you and tell you who you are, because you're already telling the world who the fuck you are. And that's what it is to be a high divine badass goddess. And that is what I teach. That is what I share. That's what I encourage. And that's how I empower my other goddesses. If this speaks to your heart space, my email and my website rather is in the video. And connect with me, contact me. I would love to help you get to a place in your life where you can stand up, rise up as a highly divine badass goddess that you are, with your light and your shadow side, where both of them are integrated to help you become whole and complete and exactly who the fuck you are. So if anyone's interested, connect with me on my website. I look forward to connecting with you. I just wanted to share my story.